Sup, Reitanna, it's Reitanna Seishin here. Yay, I finally remembered to do it on the 1st, and the only reason I remembered was because last night Micah was like, be careful, tomorrow's April 1st, you know, and I'm like, I'm probably not even gonna go on the computer, and then today I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna check, you know, my messages, and I saw this thing on Reddit, this r/place or something, and I was like, what? And Michael was like, remember, it's April 1st. I'm like, oh yeah. It's the 1st! I have to do a video! So, it's just that March feels like it was like 3 months long. I don't know why March was going so slowly. But let's get down to the thanking of the patrons. So, got some new patrons. And one is my grandmother. So, yay! And then Gold Cowrie Shell of the Abyss. Now, this person said I pronounced their name wrong. Unama Official. Or last time did I say Unama Official? I don't know. I don't remember. So, and then Bougie Scoogie 21, Genta Cookie Cat, Ghost Poison, Squishy the Bunny, Randomly Weird, Embla, Thorn Forest, Katie Crawley, and Jade Coyote. So thank you for all you guys. You are helping lots and lots and lots. You probably don't even understand how much you're helping. But if you are somebody who wants to support me financially and you can't afford to do like a monthly subscription type thing, make sure to check out my Etsy and my Spreadshirt. And you can, you know, buy something that will, that will help me out. So, Spreadshirt's kind of weird because it has a base price and I have to choose how much money I want to make per thingy-mabob. So, let's see if I can track that down and give an example. Okay, so let's say you want to buy a men's premium hoodie. The base price that Spreadshirt sets is $26.49. So I had to figure out how much I wanted to make from that without making it go too expensive, because I don't know about you, but I hate expensive clothes. I want clothes to be cheap because we wear them, and especially when you're plus size and you need bigger clothes, and that's even more expensive. But unfortunately, there are things on here that I just cannot lower, so I'm trying to figure out the most fair price, and so what I would make off the men's premium hoodie is $9.50, which would bring the total for you to $35.99. So that's how Spreadshirt works. Etsy is different. Etsy does not have a base price. Etsy charges me 20 cents to add a listing, but I can choose the price of the item and shipping. So my shipping is pretty universal unless the thing that I am selling is big and or heavy. Like, the shipping on my rock beads was more because it was heavier. But funnily enough, those went, like, really quickly. Like, okay, so my grandmother bought me these rock beads, and I tried to figure out what I could use them for, and I just couldn't, so I ended up selling them on my Etsy as supplies. Yes. So I guess maybe supplies go fast on here? I don't know. Maybe I should just make random charms or homemade beads or something. Or buttons. But right now, I just added a new listing. They are I'm So Lucky earrings. And they look simple, but oh my god. Oh my god. Like, they look like they could take, like, 30 minutes to put together, maybe less, but oh my god. Okay, so first of all, I had these cube letter beads with the same letter on 4 of the sides, because the other 2 would have the hole. And I don't know where I got them, but every single one of them, and I have an estimated like 200 or 300 of these beads, but funnily enough, not enough. No, I did have more letters, it's only that I had 3 pairs of dice. Anyway, so every single one of these letter beads, every single letter except for one side of a U was completely faded. So I had to take all of these beads. I didn't take all 200 and 300. I'm going to do it as I use them because whatever. But I made 3 pairs of these earrings. So I had to make 6 different luckies. 6 times... Oh, geez. Hang on. Gots to do some math. Okay, so if my math is correct, I had to basically repaint 120 tiny little itty letters. Yep. It was not fun. They are tiny, and for many, 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 many years, I am shaky and twitchy due to an accidental overdose on the medication Paxil. And even though the shakiness has gotten better due to anxiety medication, the twitching and the shakiness is not perfect, which is why I cannot indulge in certain hobbies that involve precision stuff. Yes. And then, so I have 6 of these dice, right? These tiny dice that I found at a board game shop when Michael and I went to go check out to see if there are any light games. And they were like, mini dice! And I was like, oh man, I could totally upcycle those. So we got them, and obviously they didn't have a hole. They were actually made for playing games, so you know, they're the regular, whatever dice are made of. They're slightly heavy, they're not all plastic, etc., etc. So I thought it'd be easy enough to just take my hand jewelry drill and drill a little hole in them. And just put a little eye in there to make it a charm. But then I decided that I wanted you to be able to see all 6 sides. So it'd be fine if I just took the middle of a side and drilled a hole right there, but no, you wouldn't be able to see all 6 sides of the dice. So I decided to do a corner. Do you know how small those corners are? They are, let's see, if I were to hazard a guess, like 2 millimeters. So I had to file them down to make it kind of flat. And then it took me literal hours to hand drill. And note, I have severe carpal tunnel. I'm surprised I haven't lost the use of my hand yet. It was painful. I had to hold this tiny little dice, and I had to drill this tiny little hole and get deep enough for the eye to be able to sit in there and be, you know, sturdy enough so that it wouldn't, you know, just pop out. And I had to glue the eye in there, so it had to be relatively deep. Oh my god. Had to do that to 6 dice. And, unfortunately, but not so much unfortunately, I did mess up on 2 of the dice. The holes just didn't look good, and I'm like, people aren't going to buy these. And then I also messed up on some of the letters on 2 pairs of one pair of lucky word beads. So I decided to take all the mess ups and put them together into a pair of earrings that I keep for myself. Luckily, the others look just fine, even the letters, which is funny. So I have 2 pairs of those in stock, and they're minimalist, they're cute. A lot of effort went into it. I made it much more difficult than it needed to be. You know, I could have just left the letters unpainted. I could have drilled a hole into the middle of the side, which wouldn't be as aesthetically pleasing. And they're drop earrings. And I just feel like all of that hard work and all of that heart would put in this energy into these earrings that when you're wearing them, you just feel confident, you feel lucky, and you just have a positive outlook, and you just think of, I don't know, positivity. I mean, I'm not a positive person. I'm a pessimist. I'm a nihilist. But wearing the earrings themselves make me feel a little better. And if it makes, a hard pessimist feel a little better, it should make an optimist or a light pessimist feel a lot better. So that is my new listing. And then on Twitter, I posted some pictures asking people's opinions if they would buy them. Not like if I were to post them, would they for sure buy them? Like, I'm going to buy these when you put them up on your Etsy. But an actual, would you want them? Like, if you had the money, if you were going to spend that money, would you want to buy these things? Because, and I need the feedback on that, because if no one's interested in them, then I don't want to add them to a listing. I need people's opinions. There are these cascade earrings that have 6 feathers on each of them, so 12 feathers. I made one prototype, which I would sell because it is cute. I don't know if I'm not a big fan of feathers, so I don't know if I'd keep a pair for myself, especially since there's not a big number of rainbow ones. I think there's only 4 rainbow ones, but so there are these feathers that I don't have my leap motion on, not that I would track my hands properly anyway, so you can't see what my hands are doing. But just go onto my Twitter and look at those pictures. They would come in many, many different colors. Let me just check how many colors those are. So I would have 8 different colors, and including the rainbow, and including the pair that's already made, the successful prototype, successful enough to sell. It would be 25 units in total. For some of the colors, there will be only 1 pair available. But the most abundant color is the pastel one, which will be pastel pink and pastel purple. So I don't know why I had so many of those. But the thing is my grandmother got me these feathers, and I, again, am trying to rack my brain and figure out what am I going to do with these. And then I thought of feather earrings. I'm like, I'm not a big fan of feather earrings, but I bet I know how to get rid of my stock. So, they're not all made yet. They're going to be ready to make because I don't want to, make them and then have people not buy them. So I have only the 1 pair made. If people are interested in me putting this on my Etsy, I would make 1 pair of each color to take a picture of and show. And they'd have all creative names and stuff, so the color combinations would have creative names because that's what I like to do. Because I got the rainbow ones are rainbow wings, and then I'm going to call there's one with red, orange, and yellow that I'm going to call Phoenix Rising, and etc. So, yes, I know that's a name of a game, but I mean like actual Phoenix. So, and then there are some pearl earrings that I want to sell. I got the idea from Michael and I binged Is It Cake on Netflix, and one of the judges was a girl from SNL, and she had these orb earrings that were asymmetrical, and I thought they were really cute, especially since she had her hair styled asymmetrically, and she wore the long one on the long part of the hair and a short one, you know, where it was pinned and stuff, and it just looked so cute. And I was like, you know, I have so many pearls. I have so many pearls. And I believe I talked about this, this hardship in one of my cell phone videos, that I have so many pearls. And, so sorry, I was shifting in my chair. So I decided to make some, and note that these are not real pearls. They're not even glass pearls. They are plastic, and they're probably painted with lacquer or something. They're not real, they're not expensive, they're just plastic fake pearls. And I'm not a big pearl wearer, so, you know, I'm also thinking of several different things to do with these pearls. I have a lot of ideas, but for this asymmetrical earring, I decided to do something similar to what her earrings were. I wish I could see her earrings up close so that I can actually replicate them, but, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I was thinking of also offering an option for a pair of asymmetrical, or a pair of symmetrical long ones, or a pair of symmetrical short ones. But I don't think that would be a good idea because of the number of bigger pearls in ratio to the number of smaller pearls. I have so many smaller pearls. The tiny pearls, I have so many of them. So, I don't know. I really kind of wanted to drive home the effect of the asymmetrical earrings. And there she is, my cat, who hates when I'm on the computer and talking. So, I'm not sure if there was anything else. Oh, Johnny. Johnny has gotten so much better. You know, he was... I love you. I'm gonna have the scars on my hands from when he bit me forever. And so, you know, forever a reminder of my little traumatized son. But he's gotten so much better. He's still a little territorial in the cage, and if I accidentally bump something, it'll freak him out and he'll turn to bite. But I've learned to be very quick with withdrawing my hands. But he lets me pick him up out of the cage. He takes food from my hand, and when he's out of the cage and running around on the bed for rat time, he doesn't bite. He will nip a little bit, but it's really not hard. And I can pick him up, I can kiss him, I can hug him, I can pet him, and I can give him all the love that he deserved from the beginning. You know, I don't know if he escaped or if his first family let him go, but either way, it's just he was in the midst of a really cold winter with very heavy snow and very heavy rain. So I'm shocked that he survived. I'm very shocked, but he's doing so much better, and it just shows that, you know, traumatized animals, victims of abuse, they're just like humans. You know, I've always been the type of person who believes that animals are people. They're individuals. People not necessarily meaning human. I treat them like they're people, and I view them as people. So, you know, they have a lot of similarities to us because we are animals. And trauma victims are just like human trauma victims. They just need the love, the support, and the care that they require. And, you know, with animals, you can't tell what they're thinking or what they're saying, so you can't, you know, give them medication and therapy. They just need the human contact, and they need the love. Because domestic animals are domestic because they were bred to be in contact with humans. They're not wild animals, so when they're forced to be in the wild, they lose the trust of the humans they thought were supposed to love them. kind of like me, where I lost the trust of the mother who was supposed to love me. And, you know, it's kind of hard for me to actually look at motherhood in a positive way. I've adopted Michael's mother as my mother, but she's in Florida. We have not spent enough time together for me to even be able to meet her eyes. So, you know, I do look poorly, on parents of children, because I'm always thinking that those children are victims of some kind, of something. Those parents are doing something to their child. You know, even if it's something as seemingly innocent as telling your kid because I said so. Because that's really damaging. And a lot of the things that even quote-unquote good parents do are damaging to their children. And I look at animals as my children. I look at animals as children anyway. So, you know, even a fish. I mean, I'm pretty sure, now don't quote me, pretty sure that the whole goldfish have a 3-second memory thing is indeed a myth. If I remember correctly, I read that they have a very long-term memory. So, animals are usually very underestimated, in the fact that they can feel and they can decide, and they have emotions. They can feel pain, of course. If an animal cries out when you hurt it, obviously it's feeling pain. You know, animals are not soulless. They're not just something that, quote-unquote, God discarded. They need to be treated with more respect, and they just need to be taken more seriously. So, you know, I never gave up on Johnny, just like we never gave up on Baby Girl. Baby Girl had a different kind of trauma. She, her original caretaker died, and and no one discovered him for like a week or two, so she was stuck in this house with her dad, dead. Her dad's body, ran out of food, was starving. By the time she was rescued, she was anorexic. She had an upper respiratory infection and a UTI, urinary tract infection. So she is pretty mistrusting of humans, but she got around, and she's beautiful, and she's soft, and she's a chub, and she's just gorgeous. She's very dumb. She's very dumb, but she is very gorgeous. She never attacked us out of fear, though. So, with Johnny, he did attack us as if we were going to hurt him because of his mistrust of humans. And the fact that he had to fend for himself. A domestic animal who is naturally prey had to fend for himself out here in Idaho, where wilderness is aplenty. So, I don't know, you know, in my fantasy mind, I'd be like, oh, he must have, you know, made some friends with some squirrels or something. But no, he just, you know, poor little guy. And he bit hard, and he drew blood. And he's doing so much better, because all he needed was love. Pit bulls get a bad rep because they are usually used as fighting dogs, which is illegal for, you know, understandable reasons. And they get abused and mistreated by the people who are forcing them to fight each other. And so people have labeled pit bulls as dangerous dogs by nature, in which they're not. They are so sweet. I grew up with pit bulls, and I love them so much. They are the sweetest dog. And, you know, it does not matter what breed of dog, you know, it is. If they were abused, they're going to act violent. You know, I met a Rottweiler who was abused, and he was so traumatized that the person who adopted them was like, you know, he was abused as a puppy, so don't go to pet him. You know, if he comes to you, let him smell you, but, you know, and maybe he'll let you pet you, but pet him, but don't go up to him, he will get scared. And I was like, 5 or 6? Between 4 and 6. So, you know, dogs, a lot of dogs have it rough. No pun intended. Really, no pun intended. I'm sorry about that. And then there's this thing where if a dog bites you, they get put down or labeled as a dangerous dog. And it's like, okay, but if I were to slap somebody, I wouldn't, you know, go away for the same amount of time I would for murder. You know, it's like, are you going to kill me because I slapped someone? You know, even if I bite someone, I'm not going to, you know, get put down. So, I don't know. I feel like a lot of animals are treated unfairly, and dogs are one of the best examples of that. So, you know, and I was bit in the face by a pit bull. I have a scar on my lip from a pit bull. And a lot of people who get bit by dogs are afraid of them forever, but I wasn't. I think I've told this story before. It was because I tried to ride him like a pony, and he you know, bucked me off, flipped around, and bit me in the face, and I was bleeding. You know, again, I've had this scar, and I was like 3, 4, something. I was really young, but that same night, you know, after I was taken care of and I was all patched up, I pet the dog. The dog didn't act violently toward me. He was laying down, and I was petting him. The same dog who bit me. You know, it's like, because if you go up to a stranger and you try to ride them like a pony, I don't think they're going to take too kindly to that. So, you know, I just think people need to have more empathy toward animals. And crimes against animals should be more severe. But, anyway. So yeah, I got my trauma children doing great. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that Johnny, and he looks happy. He loves his cage. He's the only rat I've ever adopted who runs in his wheel. Except for Reminezio, they ran in a hamster wheel when they were smaller. We tried getting them a bigger wheel, and then only Rem ran in it because he was a runt. Ezio tried, but he was too big. He was a fatty albino baby. So, we didn't do wheels for a long time, but he had a wheel in the Humane Society, and we saw him run in it. So we decided to get one that was the exact same model, and he runs in it all the time, and I'm just like, good for you, buddy. He's a survivor, and he's really smart. Like, he is really smart. He's got great eyesight and great hearing, and, sometimes when he hiccups, he has little sort of squeak hiccups, and sometimes he does have a little bit of a whistly nose, but it doesn't seem like he got any respiratory infections. You know, the Humane Society obviously checks on the animal and performs any necessary, you know, veterinary operation. No, I can't think of the word, but you probably know the word. So, you know, he was good to go. And he's healthy. He's got this luscious, thick fur. He has a couple of sores on the base of his tail, but I'm monitoring them. They look like little pimples. Not like whitehead pimples. It looked like he had a blackhead. And, I was going to do a hot compress to urge it to come out on its own without squeezing it because it would hurt him, but it seems to be healing on its own. So, I often check under his fur to make sure that he doesn't have any bugs. But ever since we moved to Idaho, we've never had a problem with bugs invading our rats because our apartment is actually a good apartment, unlike the one in California, which killed freaking Orbit. I'll never get over his death. Him and Pip. There are a lot of animals where their deaths stay with me and I don't get over them, and it's because it's the unfair deaths where their lives ended before they were supposed to. Their lives ended because of something that was no fault of our own, and they didn't die at an old age. You know what I'm trying to say. I know that I'm bad at talking, but... So anyway, today is April Fool's. I don't have anything. Because the one year I did an April Fool's joke, I worked really hard on it and no one appreciated it. I don't think anybody ever appreciates what I do. Like, a few people do. And, like, I work my ass off on something, and... Anyway. So, be careful on the internet today. Don't fall for any things. The Goat Simulator movie is not real. And... I guess I'll see you when I see you. So if you like this video, like my content, leave a like. What do I usually say? Leave a like, spread the word of awesome, become a Reitanna, subscribe. Leave a like, subscribe, spread the word. And don't forget to click the little bell, and I shall see you later, alligators and crocodiles. Goodbye.